back at you. This is part 2 of our first video on cutting the bell housing off on a 400 transmission that we did for Matt. Now you can see here in our first video that the challenge it took to do it. It took me about 45 minutes to do it. It wasn't hard to do it all. You could do it at home. But you can come here and look how nice of a job that I did for this gentleman. I mean, this thing, I mean, almost is made it all the way around. I mean, it turned out really nice. Every one of our units that we do, the bell housing will be fit that tight. I mean, you barely can, I think 11 thousandths feeler gauge goes all the way around that. Really nice, so it's really tight. Got all of his neutral safety switch and stuff hooked up. Went back with all new bushings, seals, clutches, stuff like that. He's all fresh, ready to go. We put a FTI dump valve in it, single stage. It goes in the bottom cooler line right here, and then when he hits his trans brake button, it'll activate this solenoid and it'll dump the cooler flow back into the governor cover, into the pan. Now it'll only dump 50% or whatever your solenoid's regulated at, and then the rest of it will be hooked into your cooler line here. It goes to your cooler. So you're not going to be dumping it all, just the whatever size dump hole or feed hole they have here. That's all you're going to be dumping. Now I'm not sure if you can put a jet in here. Some of them come with different jets, and you can adjust on how much you want to dump even. So it's pretty neat. So it turned out really nice. We have another one actually we're fixing to do. We're going to cut the bell housing off of this and get it ready for our 400 for our Supra back here on the bench that we did an earlier video on too. So never ending, guys, never ending. Teresa, thank you for videoing. Definitely, guys, we got a lot more to go. It's just one job after another after another. We got our 400 parts over to the other table. Haven't got them cleaned up yet, but we're going to go ahead and cut the bell housing off on the 400, and everybody wanted to see how we kind of did it. Do I have some type of special machine or anything like that to do it? Nope. Still old school here, guys, but I tell you what, we can do some pretty nice work by doing it this way. But anyway, we got some type of oil here. It's a chain lubrication. We use WD-40. We use all kinds of stuff to keep the bit lubricated. And then we got a Milwaukee chop saw here that we'll cut around it, and then we'll clean it up after we cut it around. We'll cut the base of it, and then we'll just run it around as far as I can run it, and then we'll come around and go to the other side. Now you can see these tabs right here. There's 3 of them. There's one here, there's one right here, and there's one right here. I try to stay above that, about 1/8 or 1/4 of an inch, then I can come in and buff it off and make it look nice. It's kind of hard to control, but I mean, you can do it. It'll be noisy. Never said it was going to be safe or easy, but we do the best we can. Keep it tightened up to the table through a bolt to the bottom of the housing here. And we'll come in here and work this all the way around and get the bell housing off there. Now we want to not cut too low here because we don't need enough room for a pan rail for the transmission gas. Now we might trim it down here in a minute though. This is probably the hardest part. You just want to stay above these. That way when you buff it down, you can make it look really nice. So that's the hardest part. Already know we got to cut down a bunch. So what I got here is a DeWalt buffer here. We have these pads that look like this. You can kind of see it's all jacked up and stuff. We got a lot of trimming to do. But these things here do a pretty good job. So basically what we're doing, we're going to set a pump down in here. Get all the metal out of here, that way it'll set flush. And we'll take a pump and set it in here. Now we already know it's not going to fit, but it'll give you an idea where you stand. So you can set it on here and look, and you can go, okay, well, we got a trim around here. I already know I got to trim a bunch. I'll just kind of show you guys kind of how terrible it looks at first. We don't do any trimming up here because we want to bring it down and set this in there, get it about 1/8 of an inch all the way. It looks really nice. Kind of go around and see here. We'll shave this down. So we'll get that off. But just kind of wanted to get a general idea where we're at. We find it, this is what we're going to do. And I can make it look pretty nice. Kind of step back and kind of look at it, see how we're still high through here. We'll bring that down a little bit, and we'll come over and bring all this back down, and then we'll set the pump back down in there and see how it looks on the bell housing. So this one here is going to be one of the type of bell housings that's going to go pretty flush. I ought to be able to get a really nice seam all the way around here. Some of them got a shank here on the back that's like this tall, and man, it really looks kind of terrible. But this one here's a really nice one here. So it's an LS version, big block version, Chevy, small block version. It'll fit in all. Step back, kind of look. We're high through here. Step back and look at it. You can see we're high all through here. I'm going to drop that down. So we'll just kind of look at that real quick, see what it looks like. And get the metal out of there and stuff. Set your pump down in there again. Nice and flat. And then you're going to set your bell housing back on there and see what we're getting to do there. Okay, starting to look pretty good. And we won't cut any through here. We'll come in here and lower this right through here some more. Drop that bell housing down in there until it touches the pump. We're still probably 1/8 of an inch off the pump. Kind of see there. You know, we'll drop that, close that gap. You can see here how much farther, if you look through here, how much farther we're off the pump right there. See, until we touch and get a small gap between here, we're not setting down on there. So. It does make a mess of the table, let me tell you, when you do these. You almost got to do it outside. That's right. Well, I've got it pretty close. I don't want to take up all y'all's time. But this is kind of gives you an idea how we do it here. Cut it off like that. Get it pretty nice and round, smooth all the way around. The bell house is probably still going to be, or the case is probably still going to be a little bit tall, but it don't like probably, I mean, 1/8 of an inch of getting this thing sitting on there where it's going to look nice and pretty. So we had a lot of viewers out there wanting to know how to do that, but once you get it on there the way it's supposed to be, you can look here and see we can start cleaning that gap up all the way around. That thing's gonna look brand new almost. So pretty cool, guys. So I don't want to take up all y'all's time. I know y'all are busy, but that's how we do it here. So chop saw, a little bit of oil on the bell housing, a DeWalt, a little buffer, and the little wheels that they sell work really good for it. So that tells you guys you can do it at home. Y'all don't forget to stay tuned and subscribe. We got a lot more videos to come.